Welcome back to Mark Holbit's vlog, everyone. Thanks for joining in on this beautiful, whoa, wait a minute, no. It's not such a sunny day after all. I mean, look, we've got clouds, we've got rain, and actually, part of the trip, I had to take out to the acreage. So I own a second property, which I've showed in some of my videos. We had to take a run out there. There's been some thefts in the area recently. I wanted to make sure everything was golden and there was no problems, and we were fine. On the way back, it was starting to snow. So yes, here we are, obviously a few days before Halloween. And obviously snow is in the conversation. The S word, sadly enough, is here. As you can see, I'm wearing a jacket. This is really that time of year where we have to start gearing up. But it's not about that. Got back, snow on the road, a little bit of sleet, a little bit of frozen ice and water, but we made it back and all is good. But today's a different conversation. We're not talking about our little buddy here. I mean, look at this guy. He's not a very happy camper, is he? And neither is he. Look at this. Oh, we're ready for Halloween. He looks like he kind of croaked way too soon. This guy's kind of scared. And we've got a couple other little nut jobs over here. And what about this guy here? Also ready for Halloween. So Halloween's near. We know that. But anyway, what I couldn't help but notice when I drove up to the house again today, I started to think. I mean, I do a lot of videos, obviously, on my other channel, Exotic Car Play Place. And the question often comes up, you know, cars that you should maybe consider only leasing. And then once the lease is up, get rid of them. Obviously, a lot of people are very passionate about that. Now, the F Type, what do you guys think is the optimal time? Now, personally, I don't know if there's ever a time you want to sell a car like this. I mean, it's got aluminum body on it, so it will never rust other than that little cross frame business on the bottom that can corrode, sure. But other than that, and rock chips, but if you protect it with the 3M film and all of that stone protection, paint protection film, the vehicles don't really deteriorate. A little patina, sure. You've also got, you know, maybe some cracked leather and some chips, but ultimately these cars won't rust away. They won't rot away, and you can always rebuild an engine or, you know, do all the mechanical repairs that you need to do to keep these things on the road. But it's got me thinking, at what point would you not just sell this, but like what kind of vehicles do you guys think are those kind of vehicles that you wouldn't want to have beyond warranty? You wouldn't want to own outside of a lease, and you basically just buy it for a couple of years and kick it to the curb. Now, I'll show you some of my vehicles. I've got the F Type. I really, at this point, don't see me getting rid of it anytime soon. As I've mentioned in previous videos, it absolutely strikes every box for me. It's beautiful. It sounds great. It goes great. It's comfortable. It's relatively reliable, and I mean, with age, we'll find out. But, you know, the more you read the forums, you hear about things like injectors leaking down, or coolant leaks, or the odd oil leak, or supercharger snout, or differential. I mean, there are some things that go on these things, but generally it's all mechanical, and for the most part, it's quite easy to fix. But then we have the M5 right over here. We have the E60 M5, and you know, that's the kind of vehicle, this is a 2006, and most people would say that they're pointless holding on to these things because they're going to cost you an arm and 3 legs to fix. But quite honestly, we're way beyond warranty. At a 2006, this car is already, oh, how many years would that be? 15 years of age? And you know what? I don't really see selling it at this point. I mean, I've had a lot of viewers come to the channels because of this car, and I still continue to plan to drive it, because these are just those cars that it doesn't matter, you know, warranty or what have you. It's also got some aluminum panels on it. And again, even though rod bearings go and parts can break and wear out, most of that car is repairable. Now, granted, it can get very expensive to maintain, not really your best daily driver. I would say the F Type is a better daily driver. But at what point do you think you have to get rid of these cars? I mean, these luxury cars like this, performance luxury cars, I mean, I'm starting to see on the forums now, a lot of you guys are talking about having cars with, you know, 50, 60, 70, 100,000 and beyond kilometers. Now, obviously up to 60,000 miles and beyond. Is it time to sell your F Type, or do you just keep it? Is the plan to keep it for your entire life, essentially? Then, of course, we have a C-Class. Now, would you consider this a long-term keeper? Some people would. I'm not so sure. I mean, we have essentially the next generation of cars, and when you're talking about the modern day C-Class with all the technology, Turbo 4, it doesn't quite have the build quality doesn't feel like it should, or like it does from classic Mercedes. Now, I've heard of some things go wrong on these cars. People talk about a lot of the electrics are being problem areas for the C-Class. Now, for me, I think these cars are great to drive. They're fun, they perform well, but you know, with a turbo 4-cylinder, you'll never make the sound of a V6, and you'll never make the sound of a V8 out of a car like this. And it's unfortunate because Mercedes is now, as you saw in a previous video, they're really planning on getting rid of all of those style of engines, which is very disheartening. They want to go down to the four bangers and hybrids and electrics, and they're getting rid, or the plan is to get rid of all the V8s. You won't be able to find a C-Class with a V8, and let alone a lot of the Mercedes cars are going away, or at least the V8s are going away. And sadly, is that a car worth keeping? Maybe the twin turbo V8 is the car to have. End on a high note with the C63S. That might be the car to actually run with. I don't know. It's a great car. We enjoy it. But is that the car you want to make sure that you have in your possession in the next 15 or 20 years? Kind of like the M5. I don't know if it is or not. I mean, car looks good. It's fun to drive. It's actually economical, so it's kind of easy to live with. But I don't know if that car's going to hold up. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's going to hold up all that well. As a matter of fact, like talking about, you know, when you close the door here, wham, I notice a bit of a rattling noise here. And I don't know, it's the coupe feel. You know, when you close the door, it's almost like, have you ever tried a convertible car and you slam the door with the roof down? Like the roof's down, slam the door, and it just kind of gets that rattly noise. Well, that's what this feels like. And it's got a roof. And so it doesn't instill the virtues of quality that you would expect from a Mercedes so much. Again, great car, but it feels something more mainstream than what you'd expect from a Benz. Then we have the E70 X5. Just thought I would show you this because there's many people out there that say BMWs will never last over 100,000 miles. I'm here to tell you our diesel, so this is the E70 35D. As you can see right there, we have a 35D and X-Drive. Of course, this is the X5 that we have here. I love this vehicle, and it's been very, very good for us. Now, we've had our share of issues. We've had vacuum line leaks, EGR valve plugging off. We've had the rear airbags go on us twice, and now I've converted it to coil-over springs, just done the manual conversion myself. Because there's little things of these BMWs that can start get nickel and dime the crap out of you, but I wasn't really ready to let the car go because now the vehicle's sitting there with about 130,000 miles. We're way over 200,000 kilometers, and it still runs like a champ. Starts easily in the wintertime, other than when it hits like 30 below, but that's another story. So there's just vehicles like this that you're just not ready to give up. You know, this one, my wife's already almost kind of at that point where she's thinking about selling it, and we haven't even had it that long. But the X5, it's just one of those vehicles that provides the value. It costs some money for maintenance, but it's not obscene. Or you get into the M5s, or you get into the F Type Jags here, and I guess it's to the point where cars start costing you more than you feel they're worth. And so I just don't know. I thought I'd ask you guys. It's a quick vlog today, but really boils down to what kind of cars, in your opinion, are the kind of cars that you're just like, yeah, absolutely, this is a no-go. This is a lease-only car. I get a lot of it on my other channel. Yeah, BMWs are only the car lease type vehicles. And I'm here to say, you know what, I'm pretty handy. I've got my own tools and wrenches, and I can do a lot of my own maintenance. So I'm not scared to get my fingernails dirty, and I'll do a lot of my own maintenance. And as a result, cars like the X5, which I already mentioned, I'm not too intimidated there. For the most part, a lot of that repairs and maintenance I can do myself. And the value of that vehicle is there in itself. Like, I mean, it drives well, it hauls a lot of people, you can tow with it, and it is just so great. So the F-Type, same thing. I don't think there's much in here that I'm not willing to tackle for servicing. Right now, it's under warranty. I just take it to the dealer. But when it's time, guaranteed, I'll be doing my own service. So what point do you guys think there's a certain mileage that you need to get rid of these? And also on top of that, can you tell me what specific vehicles do you consider those lease-only vehicles? Like, would an F-Type be that vehicle that you're going to hold on to for the next 10 or 15 or 20 years? Or is it going to be kind of a throwaway temporary vehicle, run it for 2 to 3 years, and then move it along? Almost kind of what we're considering with the C-Class Mercedes here. I don't know. Love to hear your guys' thought. That's quick and simple today's vlog. I just had this go through my mind as I rolled up here today, thinking, you know, which one of these vehicles is truly a keeper? Which one would you hold on to for the next 10 or 20 years? And which ones would you see you sending down the road if you decided you want to sell it or simplify? Which one of those cars, in your opinion, would be that vehicle that you turf down the road? Love to hear your answer, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Catch you real soon. Bye-bye.